The world of football is in constant turmoil, and one of the news stories that has been strongly reverberating on social media and in the sports press is the possible transfer of player Jorginho, currently at Arsenal FC, to Flamengo. This movement has generated a true uproar among fans, who are divided between expectation and anxiety about the midfielder's future. Flamengo, one of the most traditional and successful clubs in Brazil, represents not only a new opportunity for Jorginho but also a return to his roots, something that many consider to be a dream for the athlete. Speculation about a move to the Rio de Janeiro club has gained momentum in recent weeks, especially after the opening of the transfer window, which frequently brings to light possible deals and signings that can change the landscape of football. Jorginho, who arrived at Arsenal in 2022, quickly became a fundamental pillar in the team. Since his arrival, he has demonstrated a level of professionalism and dedication that has earned him the trust of coaches and teammates. With his ball control skills, game vision, and distribution ability, the Brazilian player has stood out in several matches, contributing both defensively and offensively. The midfielder has not only excelled due to his refined technique, but also for his tactical intelligence on the field, where he often positions himself to positively influence the game. Last season, he was responsible for decisive assists and plays that helped Arsenal secure a prominent position in the Premier League, one of the most competitive leagues in the world. However, with the recent arrival of new signings at Arsenal, the dynamics of the squad began to change. Players who also occupy the same position as Jorginho are being brought in, increasing the intense competition for a starting spot. This situation may have generated a climate of uncertainty regarding his future at the club. Additionally, the pressure for results and the pursuit of a more offensive style of play at the English club may have led Jorginho to reassess his position and professional ambitions. The desire to play regularly and maintain high performance could be a decisive factor in his choice, especially considering the importance he places on his career and his development as a player. The possibility of a transfer to Flamengo, therefore, emerges as an attractive alternative. The Rio de Janeiro club, which has a recent history of success in both the Brazilian Championship and the Copa Libertadores, could provide Jorginho with the opportunity to shine in a familiar and passionate environment. Thus, the decision he makes in the coming days will be closely watched, both by his admirers at Arsenal and by Flamengo fans, who are eagerly awaiting updates. The combination of factors such as competitive pressure, the search for new opportunities, and the love for football makes this story even more intriguing, elevating the narrative of the transfer to a new level of emotion and expectation in the current sports landscape. Sources close to the player claim that Jorginho is considering a return to Brazil, where he began his football career. From his very first steps in the sport, Flamengo has always been one of the clubs that sparked his interest, both for its rich history of achievements and for the passionate fervor of its supporters. Now, with the possibility of wearing the red and black jersey, the desire to return to his homeland seems stronger than ever, especially after years of experience gained in such a competitive league as the Premier League. For Jorginho, going back to Brazil would not only mean a physical return but also an opportunity to reconnect with his roots, where he could become an icon and a source of pride for young players who dream of following in his footsteps. Flamengo, for its part, has been looking for reinforcements to strengthen its squad, aiming not only for the Brazilian Championship but also for the Copa Libertadores, a tournament that has always been at the center of the club's ambitions. The possibility of having a player of internationally recognized talent like Jorginho would be a significant attraction for the team, which already has a rich history of great players in its ranks, such as Zico, Romario, and Ronaldinho Gaucho. Adding Jorginho could bring not only technical quality but also a new dynamic to the midfield, elevating the level of competitiveness of the team in all the tournaments it competes in. Flamengo fans, who have already shown interest in seeing the midfielder don the club's jersey, have begun to mobilize on social media, creating hashtags and posts in support of the transfer. This movement from the supporters reflects the love and passion that Flamengo fans have for signings that can elevate the team's level. Social media has become a true barometer for the fans' emotions, as they express their hope and enthusiasm while imagining Jorginho playing at Maracana, one of the temples of world football. The appeal of the fans is an important factor in transfer decisions, and the popular pressure may influence both the player and the club's management, which will recognize the demand and collective desire for a signing that could be seen as an affirmation of its greatness. Moreover, Jorginho's story, which began his journey in Brazilian football and then ventured abroad, resonates deeply with the fans. They identify with his journey, and many see him as an example of perseverance and success. The possibility of seeing him back in Brazil, representing Flamengo, could create an even stronger emotional bond between the athlete and the supporters, transforming him into a true club legend. This would not only boost the team's morale, but also solidify Flamengo as an attractive destination for other talented players who might consider a return to Brazilian football in the future. In light of this entire scenario, the expectation surrounding Jorginho's possible transfer to Flamengo continues to grow, and all eyes are on the next steps the player will take, while the fans eagerly await to see if their hopes will be realized. In addition, Flamengo's management is engaged in active discussions with Jorginho's representatives. These talks have intensified in recent days as both parties seek to find common ground to facilitate the transfer. The negotiations are still in the early stages, but both sides seem optimistic about a positive outcome. The Rio de Janeiro club is reportedly willing to present an offer that would satisfy both the player and Arsenal, aiming to secure the transfer as quickly as possible before the transfer window closes. Flamengo has previously demonstrated that it is not afraid to invest in high-profile players, making signings that elevate the club's status, and this could be a decisive factor in attracting Jorginho back to Brazil, where he could once again feel at home and be part of a team aspiring for great achievements. However, it's not just Flamengo fans who are keeping an eye on Jorginho's situation. Clubs from other countries, especially in Europe, have also expressed interest in the player. Reliable sources indicate that teams from Italy's Serie A and Germany's Bundesliga have been closely monitoring the athlete, which complicates the situation even further. The interest from European clubs could complicate negotiations, as the possibility of an attractive offer from one of these teams might lead Arsenal to consider other proposals that could arise in the coming weeks, making the transfer to Flamengo even more difficult. This international competition adds an element of urgency to the situation, as Flamengo will need to act quickly to ensure they do not miss the opportunity to have Jorginho in their squad. The anticipation surrounding this potential transfer is significant, and many sports analysts believe that Jorginho's decision could have a considerable impact on both Flamengo and Arsenal. For Flamengo, the arrival of a player with Jorginho's experience and quality could be a turning point in their quest for titles, especially at a time when the club is looking to solidify its position as one of the continent's giants. The combination of his on-field skills, tactical knowledge, and experience in international competitions could help shape the team for a successful campaign. For Arsenal, the departure of the athlete would represent the need to find a worthy replacement, which could lead to new moves in the market. The English club, which has already distinguished itself through strategic signings, would need to act quickly to avoid falling behind. This situation could prompt Arsenal to explore options that include both available players in the market and emerging talents that might fit the team's needs. Meanwhile, football fans are eagerly awaiting updates on this negotiation. Jorginho, for his part, is preparing to make a decision that could change his career and impact the future of two major clubs. The transfer window is open, and the football world is closely watching every move, every rumor, and every proposal that may arise. The tension is palpable, and anxiety grows as fans await confirmation. It remains to be seen whether the destination of the talented midfielder will be the warmth of Maracana, where he could become a local hero, or the coldness of European pitches, where there is still much to prove. This is a decisive moment in Jorginho's career, and the outcome of this story could have significant repercussions both in Brazil and in Europe. The saga of Jorginho's transfer is a reminder of how unpredictable and, at the same time, captivating football can be. Each new day brings with it the possibility of unexpected twists, and Jorginho's situation perfectly encapsulates this dynamic. As the hours pass and negotiations intensify, fans on both sides are ready to mobilize, eager to express their support or discontent on social media and in the stands. The anxiety within the fan communities is palpable, with messages being exchanged, hashtags created, and heated discussions about the player's future. Every rumor and every update on the negotiations is received with enthusiasm or concern, reflecting the passion that football ignites. They hope that the final decision can bring good news for their respective fan bases, who are already envisioning what it would be like to see Jorginho on the field, wearing their beloved club's jersey. What is clear is that Jorginho's story is far from being written, and the athlete's journey, marked by challenges and achievements, is about to gain a new and exciting chapter. The next step may very well be at one of the biggest clubs in Brazil, under the bright lights of Maracana, a sacred temple of football where great players have left their mark, and where emotions are intensely felt in every match. The possibility of Jorginho joining Flamengo is not just a matter of career. It is a story that touches the hearts of fans, who see in him the chance to revitalize the team and lead the club to new heights. The expectation is that, if the transfer materializes, Jorginho will not only become an essential component in the coach's tactical scheme, but will also transform into an idol for the supporters. His skill, leadership, and experience could be exactly what Flamengo needs to win titles and reclaim the glory that the fans so eagerly desire. Thus, while the football world closely watches every move, the saga of Jorginho's transfer becomes a microcosm of the essence of the sport: unpredictability, passion, and the love that unites millions of people. Aware that everything can change in an instant, both fans and players remain in a state of anticipation, hoping that Jorginho's story continues to be written with great achievements and memorable moments. In the end, regardless of the outcome, this saga will be yet another testament to the magic of football and the impact it has on the lives of everyone involved.